Virtual reality is great, but I'm pretty sure that more than 90% of current users want it to be much more than it is right now. Wearing a bulky headset and flapping our arms around
Damn it, Eddie! You just broke the fucking TV!
might be the best and most immersive way we currently have to interact with the virtual world. But what we truly desire is to fully enter a virtual world similar to how it's portrayed in animes like Sword Art Online or Shangri-La Frontier. A world that feels indistinguishable from the real one, while simultaneously allowing us to do things we can barely imagine in our current reality. Such a feat could be achieved through an advanced form of VR known as full dive virtual reality. About 2 years ago, I made a video in which I speculated about the development of this technology. Since then, however, a lot has changed and many new innovations have emerged. So let's take a look at how close we are to this fantastical future. It's worth mentioning that right now, two main approaches are being explored, the non-invasive and invasive method. An example of the first method is the Galea Headset made through the collaboration between OpenBCI and Lenovo. A couple of years ago, they demonstrated how the prototype of this headset would allow users to control a simple game using only their mind. It's equipped with a brain-computer interface, or BCI, made up of several different types of sensors. EEG sensors that measure brain activity, EMG sensors that measure muscle activity, and other sensors that track the heart rate and eye movements. By combining all of these, they try to create a communication channel that allows for direct interaction between the human brain and a computer. There is still a lot of work to be done before this could be considered a consumer-ready product. However, more recently, they appeared at GDC, the Global Technology Summit, where they demonstrated the headset's ability to read signals in a much more complex racing game. That might not sound particularly impressive at first, but I think it's worth keeping an eye on them, especially considering that they are an open source company. That means everything OpenBCI is developing right now could eventually become the foundation of a future NerveGear-like headset. Beyond that, there have also been experiments using ultrasound signals and optical measurements of tiny neural tissues deformation as part of non-invasive BCI systems. Whatever these approaches can truly deliver the kind of technological leap we're hoping for remains to be seen. The method with the highest chance of bringing us full dive VR sooner is also the most controversial. Mainly because of its permanent effects on the human body. Invasive BCI technology involves attaching a direct brain-computer interface to the brain using electrodes that are inserted directly into its tissues. This approach allows for much faster and more precise information transfer between the brain and the device, potentially granting us true access to a fully immersive virtual world. There are a couple of companies experimenting with invasive BCI technology. However, only two, at least to my knowledge, have openly acknowledged the possibility of using this technology for gaming. The first one is Neuralink, owned by Elon Musk. At the moment, Neuralink is still in the middle of human trials, with its primary focus being to give people with disabilities an alternative way to interact with the real world. During their summer 2025 update, the Neuralink team showcased the progress they've made so far, along with their roadmap for the future. Currently, they have 7 participants who have received a BCI implant, and all of them appear genuinely excited about their newly gained capabilities. What's particularly relevant to our vision of the future is one participant named Alex, who was shown playing an FPS game using only his mind through the Neuralink implant. This represents a massive jump in difficulty compared to the early demonstrations, which showed Nolan playing Mario Kart. They also previewed the potential capabilities of a future project aimed at helping blind people see again. But that technology still has a long way to go before it can deliver visuals clearer enough for complex tasks. Nevertheless, as the saying goes, The first step is always the hardest, so I believe we can expect great things from this project in the future. The second company exploring the use of invasive BCI technology for gaming is Valve. Or more specifically, this can be seen as a personal interest of its founder Gabe Newell. He has openly talked about the potential of brain-computer interfaces for gaming as far back as 2021, and I would like to believe that the Valve Index and the upcoming Steam Frame are foundational steps towards the goal of achieving full dive VR. For those who don't know, Gabe is also the co-founder of Starfish Neuroscience, a company focused on neural technology. Unlike Neuralink, Starfish is far less open about its progress. However, according to their official website, they are currently working on a minimally invasive neural interface, along with 2 other research projects. While the use of this technology for gaming is not explicitly mentioned anywhere on the site, the fact that the owner of one of the largest gaming platforms in the world is involved makes me optimistic about its future applications. Some of you might say that even with all these advancements, as long as we don't find a way to stop the brain from sending signals to the rest of the body, full dive VR will never be a possibility. But personally, I think there's an easier way around this problem. It doesn't have to be perfect from the very beginning. We could experience full dive VR during our sleep and treat it as a secondary lifestyle, one we access only when we're not awake. Of course, this comes with a potential issue, exhausting the brain, which will no longer have the same time to rest as it normally does. But we can take this idea one step further. By monitoring our sleep cycles, we could program the full dive VR experience to begin only when we enter REM sleep. That way, the brain will enter into a hyper-focused state for only around a quarter of the night. There might still be other problems that appear along the way, but I believe these are challenges we can face as they come. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Personally, I wouldn't even question selling my soul to the first company that can transport me into a world capable of simulating the feeling of using real magic. But now I'm wondering, what stage will full dive VR need to reach for you to give it a try? Let me know your answer in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing for more VR content. Hope to see you next time. Goodbye.